Volkswagen enthusiasts gathered in Durban recently to undertake a 7,500-kilometer journey through 5 African countries in a 20-day endurance rally around South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe and Swaziland. This was a challenge requiring initiative, self-efficiency and teamwork. This event was created especially so that the ordinary enthusiasts could take part. It was time for Africa to have an annual Beetle-only endurance event.
It was inspired after reading an article in the Volksworld magazine, a UK magazine, about the 1968 London to Sydney marathon, in which 2 Beetles took part. And the idea sprang from there. Why not create an event especially for VW Beetles or their derivatives? Another thing about this marathon format is it enables participants to actually have a holiday, if you'd like, in the sense that they can see huge amounts of the country they'd never see before. And the costs are basically limited to their petrol that they use. And then the choice of accommodation is up to them, whether they've got the budget for hotels, they're welcome to stay in hotels, or if they want to camp, that's the cheapest way to go.
The route they chose to travel was left up to individual entrants, as long as all the checkpoints along the route were visited. This allowed the participants to visit some of the many scenic areas of southern Africa. Specific tasks had to be completed at each checkpoint, from tickets for the cable car in Cape Town, passport stamps, to proof of entry into the Kruger National Park, as well as proof of accommodation, helped to ensure competitors stuck to the required route. The contestants had time to take in some unusual activities, including bungee jumping off 2 of the highest bridges in the world, helicopter rides over the Victoria Falls, and an exhilarating bodyboard ride down the world-class rapids of the Zambezi River. Vehicles entering this year ranged from a 1959 Beetle to a Kubelwagen, which was the German version of the American Jeep in the Second World War, as well as many of the later models of the Beetle. All entrants had to have a standard Beetle air-cooled engine and a carburetor to qualify for this event. The Beetle was designed with the design of the luxury Porsche motor vehicle, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche, just before the Second World War. Though it was not conceived as a military vehicle, the German army saw the potential in this reliable vehicle and claimed all the vehicles off the production line for their war effort, before the German public had access to them. As the war ended, the Beetle factory was rebuilt after being bombed by Allied forces, who mistook it for a factory where the notorious flying bomb was being produced. From there, the Beetle took off with new models being brought out each year until the early 1980s and is still being manufactured in Mexico and Brazil to this day.
Problems we've encountered so far have been a bonnet that popped open, a loose wire that caused the car to cut out, a leaking roof. We've had 2 generators go. We've had reduction gears leaking oil badly. We've had a blowout. We've had a hooter fall off. We've had a petrol pump overheat. We've had a petrol pump clogging. We've had fuel filters clogging. And other than that, everything's been going well. Being the inaugural event this year, our turnout wasn't as spectacular as we had hoped. Our marketing was very limited. And such, we had few competitors this year, but hopefully it's going to grow. I know there's a lot of magazine articles going out after the event, and that should inspire a lot of people to take part next time.
No, it's definitely worth doing this.
Definitely worth doing, yeah, certainly. And I can't believe that we're the only international team that really had enough, was able to do it. I mean, I can't see why other people wouldn't want to do this trip for the cost.
But don't change too much on the Beetle. I mean, try and keep it standard.
The Beetle is and always will be a cult vehicle. It's as simple as that. Hopefully people will start restoring them now and not just using them to death. Basically they're collector's items at the moment. They're no more the second car. It's actually starting to become pride to own a Beetle.
The Beetle is a car that has stood and survived the test of time. This endearing piece of machinery has crept its way into many people's hearts and will be with us into the new millennium.